The world's greatest podcast in America, John Reed, the creator of the podcast and the namer of the podcast, Cody McClure. Cody, how's Texas?
Hi, John.
Hey,
Good to see you.
great to see you.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing all right. It's good to be here. Good to be anywhere down in Texas. Great thing about recording at this time of the day in Texas. What is it? 3:30 in the afternoon. Couldn't possibly be any hotter. So that's good. It's good to talk to you. Good to be indoors. Good to be indoors. Nice shirt you got there. Omavals.
Yeah. Have you thought about maybe taking your shirt off because you're so hot?
You don't want to see that. I don't think that's something you want to see. I've got a kind of a hairy back.
Well, I don't plan on looking at you from behind.
Boy, I hope not. I got patchy hair on my back. It's not just, you've heard of Apache Indians? Well, I'm Apache American. I've got little spots of hair. It's pretty gross looking, to be quite honest with you. I could really use a skin treatment of some sort.
You look like a guy that could use a skin treatment.
Yeah. Well, the key's really, I think, just eat carnivore, but I can't seem to stick to that. So,
Seems kind of easy. Just eat meat, bro.
yeah, I like eating meat, but I ended up making a sauce yesterday, and I bought a blueberry pie, and it's a whole fucking deal. So, we're back on the carbs. Anyway, so big news leading off the show. I hear you're being abandoned at the old radio station down there. Everything was going so well. What happened?
Again, abandoned again. Is it me? As someone who has left me twice, is it me? Let's have a little couples therapy here. As
Uh,
someone who has been abandoned by you twice, every other radio co-host I've had.
I don't think that I can really give a fair answer because I'm a pretty independent cat when it comes to doing my own shit. And so I never left you because of you. I left because I had things I wanted to do. So are you hard to work with at times? Probably, but I've always been able to. You and me have always, I don't know, we vibe well. So it's hard for me to say. I never left because of you.
Yeah, there's one thing I know about you. It's that you're independent. Definitely never have to depend on people for cheap places to live or money to borrow for tickets or cars to drive or anything. You GoFundMe's to start and
Those
none
are
of that
all
stuff.
those are all gestures. I mean, I would be stupid to not accept a
Sure,
nice gesture.
sure. Yeah, if there's one thing I know about you, independent McClure, INDEPENDENT. Do you know what that means?
I mean, the only
I'm
thing
just
I'm dependent on is iced coffee and Zen. Really,
I'm just
I don't.
lashing out.
I don't know. Let's talk about it. Do you think you're hard to work with, or are you? What would it be? Could it be the enormous ego, or something else? You think?
I don't know.
Could it be the need to always be right, always be in charge? I mean, what are people saying?
I don't have the need to be in charge. I don't have the need to be in charge.
Is it the overwhelming sense of need for power?
It's not even that. I don't think I have a huge need to be in control or need to be in power. I let you plan this show. You plan this show. We work around our schedules equally. It's not like would you not agree and think that you kind of have been more in control of this one than I have been?
Well, I mean, I don't know. Just a couple weeks ago, I said, I wanted 50% of it, which I feel like is a fair number. And you said something about you copyright and own the podcast. What was the quote? I made you, you fat fuck. I made you, something like that. And so, I mean, you sometimes say some disparaging things, but then you turn it around and you say, what was it you said that I'm in control of the podcast? I mean, I kind of steer the conversation of the podcast, maybe.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean.
I haven't made any money off of it. But
Well,
we
yeah,
won't
well
get
you
into the
have. You
details.
just haven't seen it just because it's knocking off interest. There's this interest is invisible.
Yeah. We won't get into all the details of that. But
Yeah.
what's on
And
your
by the
mind?
way, you have made money off of it. I gave you money out of the goodness of my heart.
Yeah, but it shouldn't be I gave you money as a kind gesture. It should just be, hey, this is a 50-50 split. This is how we do it. But
well, if you do 50% of the work, maybe you would get 50%.
yeah,
but
see,
I
this
digress.
this is what you do. Now you see,
Well,
now
no,
you say a nice thing, and then you go back and see, you're a bit manipulative at times.
I'm not manipulative. You just seem a little ungrateful. I mean, like, you know, ask other
ungrateful.
people.
Oh, I'm ungrateful.
Ask other people in the biz, you know, how much money their people just give them out of their pockets, you know, just out of the kindness of their hearts.
That's
like,
my point. Is it shouldn't all be in your pocket.
I've given you a lot of money over the years just out of the kindness of my heart that I wasn't necessarily obligated to, but I have to try to show you my gratitude towards you and you know, have some type of partnership in this. But I digress. You can go.
This is not supposed to be an argument between you and me. This is we're trying to get to the bottom of this. You obviously you have something on your mind that you're difficult.
No, I mean I've been told I'm a narcissist. I've been told I always have to be right. Like everything you just said to me, you know, I imagine at least 30% in jest has been thrown up to me at some points usually by past lovers. Past and current lovers have said similar things that you say. And, you know, I think you say them mostly in jest, but maybe there is something wrong with me. I don't really have a quest for power in relationships or in work, I don't think. I'm opinionated. Like, if someone asks me my opinion, I'll typically give them an opinion.
Right. I don't think that's a negative quality. I mean, do you think sometimes you have a my way or the highway approach?
A my way or the highway approach? No, I wouldn't say that. Neither in love nor in content. I don't think I have a my way or the highway approach. I think I have a my way is the best way and we'll do it my way unless you present me something better way. Like I think I have that type of approach.
You think maybe Bob just wanted to do his own thing? I mean, maybe it's not you, maybe it's him.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
maybe.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily have to reflect negatively on you, but it sounds like
Bob plan. I let Bob plan the whole show. Bob planned the whole show. Like I was simply a mouthpiece. He was planning the segments and what place and everything. So like, you know, it wasn't a power thing there. You know, maybe my personality is a little too brash at 7 a.m. in the morning. And, you know, when I'm talking sports with people, you know, it's not a quest to be right as much as it is I want to voice my opinion. And sometimes my opinion is going to be different than theirs. And
do you argue with Bob like you do me?
No, not particularly.
Because you respect Bob.
No, I just don't think he wants to argue back.
Neither do I. So Bob is leaving.
I don't think we really argue that much over sports, to be honest.
No, I can't. I mean, I don't have a strong enough. I mean, I can't really. I don't know shit other than. I mean, I know some football, but I don't really know anything else.
I think I'm just annoying.
No, you're not annoying.
It's what I tell everyone. I tell it to my friends and lovers alike. The same things that will make you like me at first, you will then grow to hate. The same thing that makes you laugh will make you cry.
No, come on now. You're being too hard on yourself.
Oh, you're so funny. You're so witty. You've always got a comeback for everything. Quickly turns into you're a fucking asshole that always has to have the last word.
Well, you're a strong presence, You're a strong personality. And sometimes you're not for everybody. I mean, not everybody's able to work with a guy like you, which is why you should appreciate me a little goddamn more. But anyway.
Yeah, you might be onto something there.
So Sam is also leaving you? He's going with Bob?
Sam's trying to do a whole free agent thing, but I see the writing on the wall there. Like, I'm not an idiot. I know what's going to happen. He's a 23-year-old kid, and he's got a chance to hitch his wagon to Bob and, like, go back to waking up at a normal hour.
Yeah.
Or he can stay doing, 7 a.m. with me and having to listen to me blow V8 at first thing in the morning. So, like, it feels – are you drinking water out of that milk jug, or what is that?
It's
The orange juice.
Everclear. Yeah, it's.
So I know what Sam's going to
water.
do. And quite frankly, I went ahead and told Sam to kick rocks respectfully.
Well, that kind of puts you in a bad spot, doesn't it?
It's not great. It's not great. We got changes coming up in, 35 days or so. Today's the 10th. We're planning on making these changes July 15th. So I got about a month and 5 days to figure it out. And, ultimately, I don't think I ran Bob off or anything. I do think it was an opportunity presented, and we really want to get back to having a full lineup. We really want to get back to having 15 hours or 13 hours of content. We're going to throw 2 extra on there via podcast form. I think this, maybe we need to talk about this. This podcast might be on the network playing on radio, heavily edited, but maybe you'll have to get a cut of that or something.
This can't be edited.
I'll have to knock a little bit more of your interest off or something. I don't know, but
you can't edit this.
I think Bob probably didn't love waking up in the morning either, but also I think he saw an opportunity to have complete control.
Yeah, and maybe you need some more Indians down there. You've heard the expression "too many chiefs, not enough Indians."
I would say that's probably accurate too. We need more Indians.
I don't know if that's an appropriate expression to use in the year 2024, but it's just something I used to hear.
I don't think that's offensive. I mean, if anything, that's keeping history alive.
Just like the Redskins logo.
If we can't say Chiefs and Indians and make that comparison, then we eventually just quit talking about Native Americans and their culture dies. So I don't find that to be offensive. But, I'll also say that, I don't feel like too many people that leave me don't at least miss me a little. I mean, you moved across the country and you're like, please, I need you 2 days a week. Just talk to me. That's all I got. Just please give me 2 days a week.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely needed somebody. January was kind of tough. I walked away from everything.
I think I could be a little annoying and a little grating, but I do think when people leave me, they're like, John was pretty fun. He kept it entertaining.
A little grating or a little degrading?
No, grating, like grating, right? Like you
like
grate
you do
on somebody.
Cheese?
Isn't that a saying? Yeah, kind of like on the cheese, you wear away at people. Like I can wear away on people.
You just scratch at people until their skin comes off?
Yeah, sort of, kind of. I'm
Like
a little
cat.
grating. That's a saying, right? Isn't that a thing?
I don't know. I've never heard it, but it probably
Reduce
is.
something to small shreds by rubbing it on a grater. Yeah, so that's what I meant.
Oh, yeah, you try to do that to me a lot.
Right, yeah, I'm a little grating towards
You
you.
like
I
to
wear
make
away
people
at your
feel
soul.
small.
Yeah, I wear away at your soul a little bit. And
maybe some would say maybe that could be a negative quality is you want to make people feel like they're 1 foot tall.
Yeah, no, I mean I'm doing a pros and cons
That's
list
kind
of
of
what I
hurtful
bring to the table.
sometimes,
Yeah,
to
that's
people.
a con. And just to be fair to myself, you have a lot to work with. You could be graded down a little bit. If we're being honest. But yeah, I'm doing a pros and cons list of myself, and I'm a little grating, both in my personal life and my professional life.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I mean, you need to get somebody you can rely on in there, obviously.
You're telling me, right? I've been waiting for somebody I can rely on for 10 years.
Well,
I thought I finally had one, and then he looked at me and said, nah, never mind.
You referring to Bob or?
Yeah. I thought I had him. I thought I could rely on him to show up and be prepared, do everything. And then he looked at me and said, never mind. This guy's kind of annoying.
Well, I'm sure you'll find somebody. I'm sure it'll work itself out. You got any prospects?
I got a couple. There's a couple kids I'm talking to. There's a couple outside people that have talked, and you're not exactly thriving out there, I wouldn't say.
Well, I'm sure people would be, jumping for joy and ecstatic at the idea of me coming back, but I don't know. I mean, I got my own shit going on. I got a life to live. I've got
don't really have much.
I got
You're living in a shipping container in a really hot state that you don't really seem to enjoy. You got bit by a scorpion. The only thing, you've been out there for how long?
Out on the road, 6 months.
And the only things that have put their mouth on you have either been paid or are venomous, scorpions?
You don't know that for a fact.
Or those guys in Vaseline Alley?
You don't know you don't know anything. You don't know.
I'm just,
I don't kiss and tell.
yeah, I know. I know. That's not true. You do.
Well,
We heard your stories.
what difference does that make? I mean, it's not like I was slaying puss in Tennessee or anything.
Nah, but I'd say
Excuse
at
my
least.
French. You'll have to cut that out for the on-air version.
Don't worry, that doesn't start for another month.
Okay.
So one way or the other, like I'm going to get you back on the airwaves. I'm just whether or not it's the censored version of this podcast once or twice a week, or you just quit trying to play gypsy and just come back home.
It's in my soul, buddy. It's who I am. I mean, I'm nomadic in nature. It's just, I can't, Merle Haggard had a song one time and he said, my feet don't stay in the same place too long or something like that. You got to get on that lonesome train or something. But it is a hard life out on the road, So I've thought about where it makes sense for me to live, to maybe have some stability, have kind of a home base,
Sure.
But you know how I am. I like my freedom so much. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah, who fucking cares? Just stay out there. I hope you rot in Texas, you fat son of a bitch.
now see, you're lashing out, and that's where sometimes you can say things that are hurtful.
I hope a rattlesnake bites your dick off.
Well, he better be good at crawling into small
unreliable
spaces.
Son of a bitch. Anyways, what have you been up to? How was your date on Friday?
I didn't go. I haven't
You
talked
didn't
to
go?
that girl. No, I saw everybody asking about that. I haven't talked to that girl.
You let it burn? You put it on the back burners? Have you gone back into your diner?
I haven't been back to the diner, no.
Wow, you tried to shit where you eat, and now you've lost the girl and you've lost your diner.
Well, not necessarily. I don't know.
I feel like it's unusual for you not to go to this place in the last 4 days.
Well, I met another girl.
Oh,
and then, well,
okay,
no,
Casanova.
No. Don't get excited. It was. I don't know if I've just been in my head about this stuff or what happened. Because, all right, so I went to Sweet Green, which is a healthy eating place here, and there's a Spanish girl, and I'm getting
Mamacita bonita.
She was very cute. I'm getting my bowl of greens and salmon, and she's real friendly. She's just nice. She's just doing her job, and she asked me, she's like, "Is that cologne you're wearing, or is that your deodorant?" And I was like, "Oh, I think it's just my deodorant. You got to apply a lot this time of the year. It gets hot out here." And she said, "Well, it smells good." I was like, "Okay, it's weird that she would say," because she's a very cute, sexy girl. And I said, "Okay, yeah, let me get the rest of my. I got the rest of my bowl finished. I'm going up to pay." And I paid her. I said, "All right, well, you have a good day," and whatever. And she said, "Has anybody ever told you kind of sound like Seth Rogen?" And I was like, "Actually, people have told me that before." She's like, "You've got a very strong voice, powerful voice." I'm like, "All right." So this girl's giving me 2 compliments, but then I'm in my head over the other girl, over the waitress, and I'm like, "Am I just reading in too much to this shit? Are these girls flirting with me, or is this all in my head? Am I, is it? Did they both like me? Did neither one of them like me? I got this other girl in my head, and I'm like, well, maybe I am kind of sexy, maybe my moon is high this month or something, or some kind of astrology shit. I don't know. They say you different signs do different things with maybe my planet's high right now or something. And so I don't know. And, but I just left. I was just like, I don't know. Because, what did I do? I asked for her fucking number because she complimented me twice. And then she's like, "Wow, you're a creep." I don't know how to work these broads. You never know what you're dealing with. I mean, they're so tricky from time to time. And
It's also possible these girls were just, normal people looking for friendship and just having pleasant interaction and discussions with people.
Well, yeah,
without trying to be sexualized just for saying that they noticed the scent of your deodorant.
And I tried to keep that in my head. I tried to, but the other side of my brain was like, "Oh yeah, she wants it. She wants to get some of you."
Well, that's also possible. You never really know. Usually it comes down to, rule number 1 or question number 1, are you handsome? And if you
Which
feel like,
I checked that box.
then yeah, like it's possible these girls just want to suck your dick off. Maybe that's what they want to do.
Oh, that's
Maybe
a
that's what they
little
want.
that's a little aggressive of a thing to say, especially considering that my mother has found the podcast. I got to tell you about this. Mom calls me Friday night, right?
Well, which episode has she heard? Hopefully good ones and not the
Uh,
ones where I've made sexual passes at her.
well, she's heard the last two. Okay, so Mom calls me Friday and she's like, Cody, I got to ask you about some stuff, and as serious as she could be. I was like, oh God, what's going on, you know? And she starts with, I've been listening to the podcast. I said, oh fuck. I was like, what? You know, and because I told her, I said, Mom, don't listen to the podcast. And I explained to her, I said, I got to keep this life and my family life separate. I said, you're going to hear shit you don't want to hear. It's unfiltered. And she said, no, listen to it. And she's like, I like it. I like it. She's like, I like that it's unfiltered. It's funny. You guys are really funny. And I was like, okay, but please don't listen. Please, I said, you know, go listen to the old radio shows or something. Don't listen to the podcast. And she said, well, I just need to talk to you about some stuff. I'm like, God, okay. And I'm like, she's gonna ask about the hookers. She's gonna ask about cocaine. And she says, have you really been driving around Texas with a headlight and a brake light out? And I said, really, Mom? That's what you want to know? Of all the stuff, that's what you pick out? And so she asked me about that. And then she said, no, she's like, it's funny. I know y'all cuss and it's unfiltered, but I really don't like that GD. I don't like you saying GD. And I'm on here, you know, fuck, cunt, cocksucker, motherfucker. But it's the GD. You know, she said, that's taking God's name in vain. I said, okay, Mom, I'll try to take it easy on the GDs, you know. And then she asked about, it was those things. And then she was worried about that girl. Like everybody was talking about that girl. It's going to lead to me getting kidnapped or something, you know.
Did she mention me pissing in the bed or anything?
No, she didn't bring that up.
Okay, she must not have made it to the end of that episode.
I told her to quit listening, so hopefully she won't listen anymore. But
I'm gonna guess that she keeps listening. Shout out to Mama.
I just told her. I said, Mom, I need to keep my personal life and my family life
tell her to
separate.
listen, but not to bring it up to you, just so that you don't know that she listens.
Well, that's impossible. She's going to bring it up. She's absolutely going to bring it up.
I don't think anybody in my family listens to this one that I know of. My mom's never really brought this one up.
They listen to the one with Seth.
This one up. Yeah, they listen to that one because that one's been around for so long that they know that one. They listen to that one. And my mom will listen to the radio show sometimes, but I don't think they have found this one, to my knowledge, at least.
We don't need the clips from this one circulating Facebook.
No, and it's funny that you say that. Like my dad used to get so mad at it was funny, like my farm videos where I would say like hell. Like when I said Florida, you can go to hell. Or when I said hell no to Kenny Chess. He's like, you know, they're funny. People like them. He's like, I just don't like cussing. And I was like, I just said hell. He's like, yeah, I don't like that cussing. You ought not talk that way. I was like, all right.
Oh, yeah. That's how Mom feels, too.
Unfortunately, he won't listen to this podcast.
No, he won't.
Happy Father's Day weekend.
Yeah. So anyway, I won a bank dispute over that sandwich.
Nice.
I got him.
Got your money back?
I got him. I beat him.
So you got a free sandwich and 2 pieces of cantaloupe.
I officially beat him. I couldn't get over it.
Until they find this podcast and they use it as evidence and you are arrested for fraud and ultimately lose.
It's not fraud because the bank had an option that said one of the options for a dispute was like you didn't get what you paid for. And I said, yeah, that's the one. Absolutely. And they gave me a courtesy credit of the fucking $15 I spent in there back from the sandwich. So
now be careful. Be careful, and let's not pull this more than once because this is how you get kicked off of Uber Eats as a customer.
Oh, I'm well aware. I wonder how many times I can use this with the bank though. What's this? What's this $600 withdrawal from the Palms Casino in Las Vegas? I have no idea what this is for. That
I've
wasn't
never
me.
even been to Las Vegas. So who the hell stole my debit card?
Well, anyway.
I thought about that. I came really close to trying to pull that, honestly. Like whenever I had to be the best man, or whenever I had to, I got footed with the bill in Vegas. You know, a handful of years ago for my buddy's wedding, and it was his bachelor party, and you know somehow the strip club got put on my card,
Mm-hmm.
and the table service and bottle service, which was just a fucking regular ass table with a rope around it and a $350 fifth of Jack Daniels. Somehow all that got put on my card. And I debated, you know, I signed it with my left hand when they brought the check. I did an alternate signature that I never use. That way, in my head, I was going to dispute it and be like, you know, look at the signatures and they wouldn't match. I'm like, yeah, I wasn't even there. I wasn't in Las Vegas. But I didn't do it. I pussied out.
I figure you could have done it. I think you
can get away with it one time.
Yeah, I think if you're loyal to your bank and they know you and you've been banking there a long time and you don't abuse the system, you know, I think they probably, no questions asked, probably take care of you a time or two. But
I think you probably only get one big. I think you probably only get one big one. But if it's too big, they might, you know, check surveillance footage and all that. But
it depends on the bank, I think. Are you dealing with like Regions or a U.S. bank, or are you dealing with a small hometown bank? Because a small hometown bank, I think you can get away with more. You walk in there with an average sized dick and a vibrant smile, and the teller is going to take care of you, and they might even give you a loan. Some of those lenders look at you, yeah, you have a vibrant smile. And they, you know, those lenders are like, "Hey, would you like a $2,000 cash loan?" Yeah.
So you think it's easier at the small time bank versus the big one?
I think so.
I figured the small time bank wouldn't be in the business of just giving away, you know, $1,500.
Well, I think they're in the business of local customer satisfaction,
Not losing people.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I don't know. I mean, I'm not a banker, as you can tell by my lack of finances. It's hard to say.
Well, anyway, shout out to your mom.
Yeah, hopefully she doesn't listen to any of this. But
so you and that girl haven't texted?
No, I didn't say anything back to her. I mean, I don't know where to go.
Wow,
with that.
You ghosted her?
Yeah, I don't know where to go with that because
She was wanting to use you as an affair mate when her husband is out welding and doing things with his friends.
It's not her husband, it's her boyfriend.
Even better, while her boyfriend's out doing God knows what, running the streets, she needed you to be there both physically and spiritually, and you just ghosted this poor broad?
I mean, I didn't know where to go with it because I'm not looking for friendship, you know. I mean, no offense.
I still think that's a bad way to look at it, but
well, no offense to her, but I mean,
I understand wanting to be friends with her, but not her boyfriend and his friends.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm just saying I wasn't looking to make a new friend, really.
Because I always use friends, man.
Yeah, but when am I going to see this chick again? I mean, I'm going to Arkansas
next
Friday.
Week. You're going to Arkansas Friday?
I'm going to Arkansas Friday. Spend a little time.
How long are you going?
I don't know. I don't know how long I'll be there. Probably for a little while. I'm spending some time with the family.
You're leaving Texas?
Well, I'm going to spend some time with the family. I'm leaving Texas for a little bit, yeah.
You're going to move out all your stuff from that shipping container, or are you going to?
Yeah, well, I might come back to Texas. I mean, I don't know. I don't know exactly what I'm doing yet, but I'm just going to spend some time with the family. Why are you asking so many questions?
You just casually dropped your leaving Texas. I don't think we knew this as a podcast. If you see that son of a bitch Clint, tell him I want my $500.
He'll hear you say that. He listens to every episode. And I don't think he appreciates that type of, you calling him a son of a bitch either.
I'm just kidding. I like Clint. Even though I
You
never
don't,
met
you
him,
don't
he
even
seems
know
like a
him.
good. Yeah, I was gonna say he seems like a good old boy. He might not be. He might be a piece of shit. The only thing I know about him is that he doesn't pay his bets. So that is kind of piece of shit behavior. But he seems like a nice guy. His
Well,
texts make me laugh.
well, speaking of Arkansas, a new article I just read says it's the worst state for LGBTQ equality. Also,
Arkansas is. I saw
yeah,
that Tennessee ranks low too, so Tennessee's probably not much better. I imagine you could just go all the way across the South and get like the bottom 6 or 7 states.
bottom what?
6 or 7 states.
Yeah, I got you. Did you see Big Fat Miss Alabama and Transgender Miss Maryland?
I didn't see transgender Miss Maryland, but I did see big fat Miss Alabama.
What do you think about Big Fat Miss Alabama? I thought
When
she
I saw,
represented the state well.
she does seem like Miss Alabama. Like if you're, that's kind of the idea I thought of these Miss, universe and this Miss country and whatever, Miss America. I thought the idea was to represent where you came from, and she does look like she's from Alabama. But my mind just went to, man, I wonder what Donald Trump thinks about this. Someone who's ran a lot of pageants in his day.
Oh, he would have pushed her off the stage.
I don't think he would have been strong enough.
Oh, he would have had her removed. I can guarantee you that. She never would have been on the television screen. The only way Donald Trump puts her on a TV screen is to fire her. I mean, she might have been on the Apprentice or something, and he, just him shit talking her. That'd be her only way on TV with Daddy Trump, as John Daly calls him. Daddy Trump looking good in the polls too. You voting for Trump?
No, I'm not voting. Actually, I
No.
might vote. And I'm voting for.
Oh, here
for
we go.
Kennedy.
RFK. Yeah.
I'm voting for Kennedy.
I'm voting for Jill Stein.
Do you remember Win Ben Stein's money? Do you remember Ben Stein?
No.
That really dry, nerdy-looking guy. He was in the Clear Eyes commercial.
Oh,
For
yeah,
dry,
yeah.
red eyes.
That's who
Clear
that was.
Eyes is awesome.
I didn't know his name, but yeah, I do remember those commercials.
He had a show, I believe, on Comedy Central called Win Ben Stein's Money. I liked it. I'm not voting for Jill Stein. I'm voting for. I might go vote for RFK Jr.
It's not going to do any good,
It might.
It won't. Not if you want him to be president.
It might. At the very least, I hope that enough people do it to at least like get some momentum for a third party
For the future.
Yeah, just like us. Yeah, I mean, like I know what you're saying. Like he's not going to win, and you're 100% right. Like he's not going to win. But like if a third party candidate gets 20% of the vote nationwide, maybe that's enough to make people think it's actually possible and to actually kind of get behind the movement, because that would be the only reason I would do that, is to kind of make a statement.
You know,
I don't know if I want to go wait in. I don't know if I want to go wait in line just to make a statement. I feel like I can just tweet about it instead. Have the same effect.
Yeah, probably more of an effect, honestly.
Talk about it here on the podcast, and maybe it has more of an effect. But yeah, like I would like for RFK Jr. to get some votes.
You know that RFK had a worm in his brain?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, he had a brain worm. It made him like debilitated for a few days. He was all kind of fucked up, like. You know, in the movie Ted, where Ted gets fucked up and they try to sew him back together and he sounds like he's fucked up? I don't know if you remember that, but anyway, that's kind of how RFK was for a few days, because he had a worm eating at his brain. But they got it taken care of. If RFK's got a worm eating at his brain, Biden must have a whole snake.
That's why he is a professional, ladies and gentlemen.
I could buy a new canoe with that joke. Gag me with a spoon. Anyway, well, what else is going on? Do you have anything you want to talk about? I have some other things.
I was just going to say,
come on my face.
17 years to the day of the finale of The Sopranos. Did you know that?
I did know that. I saw that on Twitter earlier.
17 years ago.
the GOAT, the greatest of all time television show. I was thinking about rewatching it the other day, and then I was like, well, I've watched it 3 times. I just like accidentally catching an episode every now and then, finding somebody else who's watching it and just, jumping in on one. That's what I like. I don't know if I can do a 4th rewatch.
It's also the day of the first ever Salem witch hanging back in 1692. Bridget
What did she
Bishop,
do?
that old bitch, got hung after being found guilty of the practice of witchcraft.
What was she doing, you think? Like, I wonder why they called her a witch.
Well, hold on, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Trouble began when 9-year-old Elizabeth Parris and 11-year-old Abigail Williams, the daughter and niece of the Reverend Samuel Parris, began experiencing fits and other mysterious maladies. A doctor concluded that the children were suffering from the effects of witchcraft, and the young girls corroborated the doctor's diagnosis. Under compulsion from the doctor and their parents, the girls named those allegedly responsible for their suffering. So basically, these little girls just were probably playing a game and just, jerking around like kids are doing, and they said, hey, yeah, we got cursed by witches. And the doctors were like, yep, that sounds good.
Yep, that makes sense. Been trying to get rid of this bitch, Bridget.
So there are 2 Sarahs and a woman named Tituba, who was an enslaved woman from Barbados. They got charged with the capital crime of witchcraft. Later that day, Tituba confessed the crime and subsequently aided the authorities in identifying more Salem witches. So basically, this girl snitched, and a lot of people got called witches, including even several men and 1 4-year-old child. 150 women and men were called witches.
I feel like the name Sarah ranks pretty high for being a witch name.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that when I was reading it. Sarah's a scary name.
Sarah sounds like a witch. Yeah,
and she does. She truly does.
I think Sarah actually translates from Latin. I think it actually means witch.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but
I've known some girls named Sarah, and they fit the bill.
Sarah seems like a scary name.
Flying on brooms, doing all that other stuff witches do, wearing that hat.
Seems kind of wild back in the day. You could easily just get put to murder for nothing.
Yeah, real lack of medical diagnosis there. 2 girls experiencing a little bit of, they probably just had like some anxiety or something, or so, and they didn't know what was wrong with them. They said, "Oh,
if you were fair-skinned and couldn't get a tan, you were called a witch."
Fair enough.
She has dark hair and light skin. She looks like a witch. Let's kill her. Let's burn her at the stake.
I wonder what they did to gingers back in the day.
Burn them at the stake.
Yeah,
I think that was the answer to all of their problems, is they would burn you. They would throw stones at you for a while and then burn you.
A little aggressive in hindsight.
Kind of cool, though, as long as it didn't happen to you. But I would just be terrified that it would happen to me at all times.
Jesus Christ. Speaking of torture and things that are a little aggressive, I had something come across my timeline the other day, and it was one of those, like, one of those accounts that's like gore, like insane video leaks or some shit, And it was literally this dude was sitting on the couch. Okay. And there's another dude standing in the living room, and there's like a camera, like a security camera of the place. I don't know why they had a security camera in their living room, but maybe it's like a Ring camera or something. And the guy's got an axe, and he just takes the axe to the guy sitting on the couch and splits his fucking head open with an axe. And the dog starts barking and shit, and then a woman runs in, and she's like, "Oh my God!" Which I assume is probably his mother or something. It's a real story because they had the news article in the headline, like, "Man goes to prison for splitting man's head open with an axe." I was like, how's there a video of this, and why is it on the timeline?
Yeah, why did you watch it is also the question.
Well, because This guy standing there with an axe. I mean, I wanted to see what happened. Had a good idea what maybe was going to happen.
Did it live up to your expectations?
It was bad. It was bad. It was really, 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 really bad. Especially for the guy that got hit with the axe.
It's kind of crazy to me more things like that don't happen.
What was fun, I think it happens a lot. What was funny is there was a OnlyFans girl in the comments that left a link. She's her OnlyFans. She's like, "Yeah, want to see?"
You think that's a gashing split? You should see what I can bring to the table.
Yeah, you want to see something else get split? Yeah, yeah. That's every tweet that it's out there now. There's always an OnlyFans girl like, "Look at my tits."
Elon has completely ruined Twitter.
Yeah, it's awful.
And now he's made porn legal on there, so it's only going to get worse.
It's absolutely terrible. Like, subscribe, come on my face.
5 stars, 5 feet of jizz. Buy the shirts too, by the way. Buy the shirts.
I had some white girls in the car this weekend, per usual. And these girls were, I don't know if they were from Texas. They seemed very Californian. The way they were talking, they were just, these two girls, they had just gotten out of yoga, of course, which, love that. But I was taking them to a bar, and they were talking about positive affirmations and talking about, like, their boyfriends. And say, like, the one girl was saying that her boyfriend, she asks him every day what was the best part of his day. And she was talking about how you got to embrace this positivity, and that's how you have a happy life. And they were going on about this, and I was like, what in the sweet green Soul Cycle Trader Joe's am I listening to? Just, what was the best part of your day? I mean, can you imagine how annoying that would be if somebody asked you that every day? You get home after having to deal with all those assholes at work, and then, what was the best part of your day?
I'll tell you what the best part of my day was, Ashley. The 10 seconds before I pulled into the driveway, and I hoped that your car wouldn't be here to ask me this stupid fucking question. But I'll tell you what the worst part of my day is. And the worst part of my day today and every day is having to answer this stupid fucking question.
What was the best
Jesus
part
Christ,
of your
can
day?
I please get home and just relax for a little bit? I don't want to talk about my feelings right now.
I should be able to walk in. You should have a sandwich ready and a cold beer sitting at the end of the couch on the end table by the lamp. I said the sandwich has to be by the lamp, Ashley. By the lamp!
Your mother would be so disappointed in you. That woman knew how to build a home. She knew how to take care of her man.
You ever wonder why more cars don't crash on the interstate? That's something else I had.
Yeah, man. I think about that too much when I'm driving a car these days. We die a lot in cars. But
Yeah,
we probably should die. We probably should die more in cars, it feels like.
It's got to be, I mean, like one of the leading causes of death, It's like heart disease, car crash. I'm pretty sure it's got to be up there.
Yeah, suicide too, but
I don't think suicide's that high, but yeah, cancer's high. Cancer, heart disease, and car crash got to be top 3.
COVID.
Come on, that was a hoax. But anyway, all these cars just at rush hour in any city, just people darting in and out of traffic, and you're so close to each other. It's like, it's like the Talladega 500 out there sometimes,
Well, now you give everyone a goddamn cell phone, and then no one is paying attention.
Everybody's got a cell phone and a gun in the car. What are we doing in this country?
I drive past so many people every day that are just on their goddamn phone texting, and I just get so mad.
Yeah.
And I just pull my phone out and start tweeting about how mad I am that they cannot drive while staying off of their damn phone.
You pull out your phone and tweet that.
That's the joke.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah,
Thanks.
I mean, it really is like it does really piss you off more than just about anything, especially if you're sitting at a light and the light turns green. There's some fucking asshole in front of you texting, hey, the pork chops, I set them out. I took them out of the freezer and set them in the thaw in the fridge. Like, you got to get this across now. I'm trying to get home, Johnny.
The worst though is sometimes I'll drive and I'll play my Royal Crush game,
Royal
my Royal
Crush.
Match game. Yeah, this is maybe the most embarrassing thing I got going, more so than the piss in the bed thing. But I play this damn Royal Match game.
Was that like Magic the Gathering?
No, like if you're seeing on video, it's like this.
Wow. Nerd alert.
Yeah, and you got to match up colors to get like special
How do you
blocks, and you just match up the colors 3, 4, 5 in a row, squares, triangles.
You need to clip those fingernails, by the way. Can you
How else would I pick out? How else would I carve up my cocaine to get ready to sniff?
with a credit card like an American? How do you play that game? I
just told you. You move blocks to make 3, 4s, and 5s. But you know, I always this is embarrassing to admit. I always wondered. I see these stories of these damn losers on the internet who have like $1,000 charges for these games.
Right.
But I've spent at least probably $80 on coins over the last like 4 months playing this game.
On virtual coins.
Yeah. To get more lives.
Why? Why are you spending money
to get extra
on that?
moves?
So that's
I don't
where
know.
my fucking T-shirt money's going. It's not going to pay back my debt. It's going into your Magic the Royal
It's not.
picture
It's worse
account.
than Magic the Gathering. It's worse. They got me so good. They've got a grip on me.
Oh, you need to delete that. You're going to become
I have twice, but I re-downloaded it, and it saves your spot. If it wouldn't have saved my spot, I just would have let it go. But it saved my spot.
That's like today's equivalent of having to buy another memory card for the PS2. Need more space for games.
No, it's not the equivalent at all. It's like paying for tokens to be better at the game.
Are you that bored?
Sometimes, man. Sometimes. But I also enjoy it. It's so good. There's so much going on. Just look at this damn screen. This is just a waiting screen. There's just so much going on. It's just so visually stimulating. It's got spinning. You got fireworks. You got monkeys throwing things around.
Why don't you just drop acid?
Probably be cheaper.
Just start doing acid. Yeah, it's $5 a hit.
I've spent at least $80 on this game over the last 4 months.
That's embarrassing.
It is. It truly is. I'm not gonna lie. I know it is. But then I'm like, well, you know, I could pay $6 here. That's the price of like one White Claw. I go to the bar all the time. This is gonna get me more pleasure over the next week than like one White Claw is. So then I buy it.
Why don't you find a hobby of some sort?
That is my hobby. This is my hobby right here.
Yeah, but a different hobby. I mean, you can do about anything. You can start calling radio shows or something. You know, that'd help you pass the time. Just start calling radio shows.
I'm not proud of it, Cody. I am embarrassed of it.
I think the radio caller's got to be the lowest form of communicator.
He's up there. He's up there.
So what's the end game? I mean, you keep playing this game. What's it going to bring you? Do you get like a princess at the end or something?
Do you want to guess on what level I'm on?
34.
You think I've been playing this game for 4 months and I'm on level 34?
I don't know. I don't know anything about how the levels work. I mean, I don't know. How am I going to know?
You clear these blocks off and you get to advance. It's not easy.
Level 124? I mean, I don't know.
4,815.
Does that count by ones?
Yes.
Oh, my God.
Yes, it does.
I would never.
They got me on the Instagram advertisements. It just kept popping up. Well, actually, the Instagram advertisements got me to download one game, and then they kept promoting this damn Royal Match game on there. And there's no ads. It's like ad-free. I'm like, great. I want to play a game that's ad-free. But then you get in there and you run out of lives, and there's a timer. You only get one life every 30 minutes, and like eventually you run out of lives or you can't get past a level. So then you have to spend coins, and sometimes you don't have enough coins. So it's like $2 for more coins. So I'm like, shit, I'm a grown man. I got $2 to spend on these coins. And next thing you know, you've spent $80.
I mean, you could start learning the bass guitar. You could play golf. There's so many things you can do.
Play golf. I'm not doing this and like I'm doing this when I'm sitting on my couch at home at night or I'm laying in bed. I can't play golf at 1 a.m. when I'm laying in bed.
I mean, you could drive Uber, make some extra money. There's all kinds of things you could be doing instead of this.
I thought about that, but
Why
I
don't
was
you
like,
go
what
out and do stand-up comedy? You could go do comedy.
I thought about the Uber thing, but then I was like, what if I give a ride to somebody who knows me and they go tell everybody that I'm driving Uber?
Yeah.
I got a reputation to uphold.
We can't have two Uber drivers on one podcast.
Yeah. It will just look like losers that don't make any money. We can't both do that. I did think about it, but I was like, what if I got somebody that didn't like me and I had to deal with them? Or what if I got robbed at gunpoint?
Right. Yeah, it's a real concern. You could start kayaking or something. I mean,
at midnight while I'm laying in bed?
Yeah, at midnight, yeah. There's a guy out here who goes out on the lake at night. I think he drowns people, but, at least he's up to something.
I could probably do like push-ups or something. Maybe I should do push-ups and sit-ups instead of this game. But then I got sweaty.
You can start cooking.
At midnight? I don't want to cook at midnight.
You could try to sleep. Maybe that's why you don't get any sleep and you got bags under your eyes.
I don't actually play that late most of the time. I did for a while. There was a time where I'd play like an hour before bed, but I don't do that anymore.
Well, that's probably a good thing. Oh, Lord. Gag me with a spoon.
I got something I'll gag you with.
I was at a Mexican restaurant a couple days ago. A couple of gringos came in. I'm sitting there eating my enchiladas. That's kind of racist. I'm sitting there eating my enchiladas. A couple of gringos come in. You know what the woman orders? An old-fashioned. And immediately they're in the booth behind me, and I just verbally sighed. I'm eating my cheese dip. The guy's like, "What can I get you to drink?" And she says, "I'd like an old fashioned." And I go, "Oh, these fucking whites." And so he's like, "I will have to check for you." And he goes back to check and see if we can do that or whatever. And he comes back. And of course, so predictable, right? I knew what he was going to tell her. He's like, I asked my manager. He does not know. He doesn't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like he just learned how to say
margarita. Would you like a margarita or a Corona?
Yeah, like he just learned how to say thank you in English 2 weeks ago, and now you're asking him for this bullshit. And
Could you muddle these bitters, please?
He's like, you go back and tell those motherfuckers I don't know what the fuck she's talking about, and I'm not making a goddamn. And I'm like, well, where do you think you're at? This is not a cocktail bar.
It's pretty funny, though. I've never thought of somebody ordering an old-fashioned at a Mexican restaurant. That's pretty good.
I was just sitting there like...
one in Texas.
Yeah. Like, these guys don't know, like... everybody, people think you should just be able to appease them with whatever they want, wherever they are.
I mean, I understand you're like, hey, I'm at a bar. I should be able to order the drink I want, but like...
It wasn't even a bar. It was a restaurant. I mean, they had drinks.
It has a bar, but... Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go there and order a frozen daiquiri or something, or like a nice dirty martini.
Yeah, could you hold the olives, please? We do not have olives. Like, what the fuck are you doing? These
I want
people.
The dry vermouth.
It's probably the same girl that asks what the best part of your day is. Gringos.
Gringos are the best part of your day?
No.
Do you think you can find that senorita bonita that you let go?
The girl from Sweet Green?
Yeah. Do you think she'll still be working if you go back by?
I could just go back in there.
Have you thought about going back in there?
Yeah. Think about it all the time. Been thinking about it since Friday. I don't know though. I'm going home Friday. I'm heading to Arkansas. So
Friday?
Yes.
Wow.
Going to spend some time with the family.
How long are you going to stay in Arkansas?
I don't know yet.
How many shirts do we need to sell for you just to come back to Tennessee?
What am I going to do in Tennessee?
Uber? Do stand-up comedy? The same shit you do? Same shit you do anywhere else? At least now I can maybe get us in the studio and do a podcast live so I can quit having to come home and do it.
There ain't no Ubering in Tennessee in the summer. I can tell you that. You've heard me complain about that for too many years.
I can
It's
put you to work.
all dirty people.
I can put you to work selling T-shirts and mopping my warehouse
It's
that I help,
meth-addled.
man.
Mopping your warehouse.
I got a T-shirt warehouse I'm helping run. If you want to come mop the warehouse, keep the bathrooms clean.
Did I miss the part where you bought this place?
I said that I help manage, that I help run.
Manage? Is that your title, manager?
Part-time.
Are you the GM of this place?
Part-time manager, part-time radio host.
Oh, barf out. Oh, how's Frank doing, by the way?
He went to the vets again on Friday. They gave him some medicine. He's been doing better. But, man, by the time I got home today at 4 o'clock, he had the biggest poop in my floor. It wasn't runny, though, because the medicine said it wasn't going to be runny. But, boy, was it a big old pile of poop. I almost took a picture of it just to show, like, how did this come out of this fucking dog? But he's still in the grace period. He's still in the grace period where I can't be mean to him about it because he's sick.
I got to get this shit out, man.
I think he's just I think he's just fucking with me. I think he knows I can't yell at him right now or beat him, so he's going to keep shitting and just looking at me like, take that, motherfucker, take that.
Now, that would imply that normally you beat Frank. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I do.
Okay, so maybe...
I've never kicked him.
But you do beat him.
I've never kicked him, but I take my hand and I discipline him.
Okay, and animal control, they're aware of this?
I don't know if they are or not.
Well, they will be soon.
You know, if Hasbulla can do it, I can too. Although we haven't really seen Hasbulla since he beat the shit out of his cat, huh?
That cat had coming.
He kind of disappeared once he beat the shit out of his cat, huh?
Well, he had to...
When's the last time you've seen Hasbulla? I haven't seen him in years. In almost, in like, what, 6 months, 7 months?
He's probably dead. There's a fucking war going on over there that just got swept to the back burner, by the way. Nobody talks about the war in Ukraine anymore. We've moved on to the Jewish war.
When we send him a couple more billion, I'm sure it'll come back up.
Have you noticed that? All the celebrities now, they don't have the yellow and blue flag anymore. It's the Israel flag. I mean, if they keep picking up causes, these Subarus are going to run out of room on the bumper space for flags. We got the Ukraine flag, we got the Pride flag, we got the Israel flag, everything but an American flag with these people. Have a little pride in your country, huh? Maybe we stop spending so much goddamn money on all this bullshit. Oh, sorry, Mom. Stop spending so much damn money on all this bullshit. Maybe we could clean up our streets here where there wouldn't be homeless people walking around all over downtown Los Angeles, downtown New York, downtown Chicago, downtown Austin, downtown Houston, downtown Dallas, Cincinnati, Cleveland, everywhere. Nashville, Miami. Miami wasn't too bad. I think DeSantis put some of them people on a bus or something, but they just want to ride around with their fucking bumper stickers. Their fucking mustache selling overpriced coffee and shit. Their fucking Chacos and their... So anyway.
Big Sammys that ain't that big.
Yeah.
All right. You're out of steam.
No, I got more.
Nah, I'm out of steam. I got to take Frank outside. I got to get ready. I got to go play softball tonight.
You're going to play through an injury?
I still don't feel great. I'm going to go out there and at least be there for the vibes. Can't let my team down.
Well, all right. Hey, our boys are going to Omaha, College World Series.
Right. Yeah. Buy the shirt.
Are you going to Omaha?
If we make the championship series.
John?
If we make it to next weekend, not this upcoming weekend, but the weekend after that. If we make it there, I'll go.
Sounds
but
good.
Otherwise, no. All right. See you, dude.
Goodbye.